Okay, welcome back to another episode of Two Dads, One Green. If you are new to the channel, we are on Spotify and YouTube. Be sure to hit all of the like and subscribe and follow buttons that you can. It's Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Let's get into it.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Joe.
Have you heard what's going on in the golf world recently? I heard Rory McIlroy just won the Masters.
Yes, he did.
Did you
And
watch?
I did watch. It was very a difficult, anxiety-filled watch, but it was very exciting to watch the end.
Did the wife allow you to watch the entire thing? Relieve you of all family or home duties?
Yes, actually, because all of us were watching it for the entire time,
nice.
including the children. So
Did they?
that makes it a little easier.
Were they excited? The kids.
Yeah, I guess as excited as a 2.5-year-old can be about something that he has no idea about.
But you,
when his father
But you were
is
excited.
screaming.
Yeah, you were excited, and therefore they were excited.
Yeah, as long as his dad is screaming like a little boy, he then screams like a little boy.
All right. So then, how would you sum up your reaction or how'd you feel about this, about Rory winning, about this whole Masters?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we talked about last time. He's my favorite player, and so it was really great to see him finally get over the not only the Masters hump, but the career Grand Slam, finally winning another major after 11 years. Just feel happy for him more than anything. Obviously, he's been through the ringer at the Masters quite a few times, so nice to get over the finish line.
Where do you think
Any thoughts from you?
Where do you think he'll go from here? Is he gonna be complacent and just, or
No,
is he gonna build on this and get a couple more?
I think he's kind of like a freak of nature that loves the craft, like a Tiger-esque. So I think this will only, and I've heard a lot of golf commentators talk about how they think this will just free him up, and I think maybe he even said something to that effect afterwards. Just like being able to release that burden and no longer have it, the 20-pound monkey on your back, will hopefully help him to be able to play more free and win a lot more.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the same too. Hopefully he gets a couple more, but this was a big monkey off his back. Like you, I watched the broadcast as well, but on my own because no one.
Any Asian dubbing at all?
No, I watched the American broadcast, so the original. It was great. Emotional roller coaster, ups and downs. Yeah, what a great Masters.
Were you feeling like anxiety up and down, like as he was, struggling on one hole, hitting an incredible shot the next? I mean, like, I feel like that's the most invested in a round I've been in quite a while, just watching it.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's Rory, so it's like, it's the same show that we've seen. He's gonna collapse. He's not gonna do it. Is he gonna do it? But no.
Yeah.
But then
I mean, like,
this time though he came out on top, which is a different ending, which made it, I felt, great.
Yeah. And I was actually watching today some of his shots from Friday and Saturday actually. And because of Sunday, I feel like you forget how amazing he played Friday and Saturday. I mean, I remember I was in Nashville stuffing my face with barbecue watching the first 6 holes, and he made 6 threes in a row to start, which has never happened before. So I mean, I like couldn't believe what I was watching.
But he always finds a way to not run away with it. Every time you feel like, oh, it's safe, he's got this in the bag,
Here comes
keep
Justin
up,
Rose.
he'll keep up the excitement.
Yeah.
But
It would.
I do love that though about Rory. Even though he gives people a heart attack.
Yeah. I bet there were a lot of drinks being drunk in Ireland Sunday night.
So speaking of memorable shots played, so for you, what were some of your most memorable shots from, I guess, the tournament?
Yeah. So I think, actually I wrote a couple down because I thought it would be interesting to bring up. If I can find it. Maybe we can just edit that part out. Yeah, Saturday, the chip in at 2 to eagle that hole. That was pretty incredible start, as I mentioned. The 6 threes,
especially after round 1, a little fade towards the end to start up strong. Again in the second round, that's big.
Yeah, he really redeemed himself after the couple blow-ups at the end of Thursday.
Yeah.
Then there was the shot on Friday from 13 in the Pine Straw, when he was in the Pine Straw, and he hit this like lower shot that looked like it should go right in the creek and didn't. And then like somehow the trajectory made it seem like it would just go flying off the green if it landed on the green, but somehow it stopped perfectly. And then he makes that putt for eagle, and I think his expression was kind of like, I can't believe that worked out as well. Which was kind of funny. He had a few moments that were like he couldn't believe that he had done what he just did.
Yeah, there were
and that he got so lucky.
Yeah, there were definitely some moments where you feel like, oh, all the things are turning his way, so he's got to win this.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like when his ball didn't go in on 11 on Sunday, when it just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Everybody, you could hear like the collective sighs.
I think Bryson hit his into the water.
Yeah, and then Bryson. Yeah, talk about a rough Sunday. He really sort of fell off and just didn't have anything going.
Yeah, it was kind of the reverse of last year's U.S. Open.
Yeah. Maybe this is just going to be the budding rivalry at the end of all majors from now on.
So it'll be a continuation of this PGA versus LIV thing.
Yeah, until it goes away in 20 years. No, but who knows? I don't know. How about you? Any other shots that stick out?
Yeah, like you said, the final round kind of just made me forget like everything that happened, that led up to that point. So, definitely that approach shot on the 15th in the final round.
Yeah. Looked just like me out there.
Yeah, except right-handed and hitting a draw.
And much better.
He did miss that eagle, but still.
Yeah.
He needed that shot. I think he was kind of, again, fading a bit. Rose was catching up. I think.
Yeah.
I forget if Rose was tied or maybe one behind at that point, but he needed something to kind of keep the momentum going. And amazing shot. He missed the eagle putt, but had the birdie.
Yeah, it was still a good shot.
Really clutch. I think it was like 200 yards out. He hit a 7-iron.
Yep.
Similar distances as, not really, but.
Awesome.
And then also, I think in that final round, earlier on, 2 holes earlier, the 13th, it was a par 5. I think he played it safe. He laid up.
Yeah.
Seemed, how can he mess up? But then the approach shot into the water. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It was like,
that was
here we go
really
again.
Unfortunate.
And then he bogeys the one after. So that's like a three shots dropped, those 2 holes.
Yeah.
And then just, to the 18th.
The first or the second time?
The first, well, I guess both. The first time missing the par putts, it was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it felt like the U.S. Open all over
Rose
again.
with all the momentum, right? Finishing off.
Yeah,
with
the
bird.
putt that Rose hit on 18 was pretty clutch, obviously.
The first time around.
Yes. Yeah, the one to make it.
So then after that hole, heading into the playoff, I was pretty nervous for him, for Rory.
Yeah.
Because it looked kind of shaky. But then he hit, great drive, even better approach, sank the putt.
Yeah.
Rest is history.
Actually, both drives on the 18 were pretty good, especially considering what his nerves must have been like at that time.
Yeah. But he did it.
Yeah.
He did it. Grand Slam. So then, Patrick, where do you think that puts Rory among the best golfers of all time? Do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's probably kind of a loaded question and depends on who you ask. Obviously,
personal preference.
He's only, I mean, obviously he's only one of 6 for the Grand Slam, so I think you have to at least consider him top 10. I would guess or say.
I mean, if he's your favorite golfer, I wouldn't blame you for putting him number 1.
I don't think I think that spot is reserved for Jack and Tiger, probably. It's just like so weird because he just dominated early.
Yeah.
Just like so many other guys do, like a Jordan Spieth. And then he had like this long stretch of still winning a ton of tournaments, but just not, and big tournaments too. Players, FedEx Cup, but just not getting it done on the majors. So it's kind of a weird dynamic, and now I feel like this is almost like the I don't know what you want to call it, like I hope the second stage of him dominating again,
or the last hurrah before he rides off into the sunset.
Before he rides off into England, apparently. Did you hear about that? He stopped in England first because him and his family are building a house there, I guess.
Wait, after the Masters? Or before?
Yeah, before he went back to Northern Ireland to celebrate, he went to England to check on the progress of the house they're building.
Okay.
I think his wife is weirdly obsessed or likes England, even though she's American. So, for whatever reason, I guess they're building a house there.
Right. Good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, having 5 houses.
I think he's playing this week, right? In New Orleans. At the Zurich.
He is.
So traveling.
Defending champ. Yeah. Helps when you have a private jet.
Yeah.
I mean, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, a little challenging. He's not done yet, right? He's still current, so I'll probably put him like around top 10 as well. Um, I think
he only needs one more major to tie Faldo for the most by a European, I believe.
okay. Like
I think he's probably better than Faldo, but major-wise, technically not.
Sir Faldo, so he
Sir,
has that
excuse
on his
me.
resume.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
At this point, I think I'll put Rory ahead of Phil. What do you think? Two of your, favorite golfers, perhaps.
The the former favorite and the new favorite.
So I think Phil has more wins
Uh,
and majors overall, but he doesn't have the Grand Slam. So I would rank the Grand Slam as that that thing that gets him past Phil.
Yeah, I would have to look though. I mean, Phil won the PGA at 50, right?
Yeah,
At Kiowa. And he's also finished runner-up at the US Open 6 times, which is just insane.
but Rory's not 50 yet.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I think if you do it when he is 50, I think he will be better.
Okay,
If his career ended today,
you still put Phil ahead.
no, I don't know. It would be close, I think, between the two of them.
Are you giving Phil any credit for his work in the Live Tour with the High Flyers?
No, I'm not giving him any credit for that.
Growing the game.
And to be honest, I'm not even sure if he's really doing that well.
He's
I mean,
He's alright.
did he make the cut this week, or at the Masters?
Did he make the cut? That's a good question.
Let's look that up real quick.
He did not, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately for your betting. Yeah, I had a feeling he didn't. But anyways,
He finished
Obviously.
5 over, so wasn't a good score.
yeah.
So yeah, recency bias. I'm gonna put Rory ahead. That's my take. So Rory kind of sneaks into
Yeah.
the top 10 of all time,
Yeah.
which
I think so.
which is still pretty good. Given how hot he started, early on in his career, you would have expected more. But
Yeah.
by now, right, more achievements by now, but still great. I like Rory.
Yeah.
Good to see him bouncing around again.
Yeah, doing the little bounce. And I was trying to think of what would be your lifted burden in your life, when he collapsed on the green. I was trying to think of anything that could come close to that.
For me,
Yeah.
personal. Okay.
Yeah,
Or golf
biggest
related.
burden. I don't think either of us could have a golf related thing that could come close to that feeling.
No, if I could, maybe at some point when I reach retirement, it'll be like, I'm finally done.
Yeah.
My kid can take care of herself.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah, perhaps. That might be a relief, but I'm not there yet, so
Yeah.
who knows? How about you? I was gonna say if it's a golf
Yeah.
thing, if I can achieve that no 3-putt and do that consistently, that might be
Yeah.
a good achievement. or you know,
Yeah,
be a
that
scratch golfer. Might be a good milestone.
yeah, that would be good. I don't know. I like relief is hard. Like I don't know, maybe finishing college, like just being done with that, and not
That's a
having
good
to
one. Yeah.
not having to study anymore, and just
Yes.
not having to worry about tests, all that kind of stuff.
Actually, I like that. I think I did feel that after finishing school. So then,
Yeah,
you know, after starting work, I had no intention to study more. But yeah,
yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, I don't think it carries the same burden level as someone who's in the media spotlight so much, but yeah,
But yeah, he was genuinely happy after winning.
yeah,
He was. This is something. It really felt like it was something he wanted since he was a kid.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
after all those years of disappointment.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just seeing people that happy sometimes like makes you happy.
Mhm.
I mean, even if it wasn't him, like I'm sure the Justin Rose reaction would have been pretty good too. Just because he's been so close so many times, but yeah, it just makes you feel happy for whoever's winning.
Yeah. So then, outside Rory, what are some of maybe your other takeaways or observations from the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like what Oberg had another solid finish. What did he finish?
I think top
He only
10.
finished
Yeah.
6 under. Yeah, top 10.
Considering this is his second Master.
Yeah, so he's had
Yeah.
2 solid Masters in a row, which is pretty good for him. I thought like sneaky Jason Day has been playing pretty well lately, and he's played well at the Masters. I think actually maybe the Rory collapse year he ended up
Yeah, I think so.
T2 maybe, or pretty high up there. Justin Rose, obviously the late charge and kind of stinks.
So
for
so what
him.
does that
Third.
what does that tell you about the stage of the golf game? It's 2025. We're still kind of discussing Rory, Rose, right? Day, you know, all these players who's been around the block for quite a bit.
Yeah, but I think sometimes Augusta is like that, where the guys, if you know the course well, you can. I mean, look at Tiger won in 2019 at pretty old relative to the field.
Yeah.
I think if you know where to hit it and you know how the putts are breaking, I think it. I mean, everybody knows what course it's going to be for the Masters every year, so I don't know. Maybe it is just an experience thing. Not just, but
definitely helps you not to screw up. Not that Rory was listening, but but he overcame. So
yeah. Did you hear? Apparently, he talked with Jack Nicklaus, and they went through every single shot. Like,
Oh,
that
really?
you should hit on every single hole. Yeah. Like, that's really getting into the weeds and wanting to win, which is pretty crazy. Nice of Jack to do that with him.
Okay, I'm sure that helped.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the live thing, right? I mean, Reed jumped up there at the end, and Bryson was obviously tied 5th. So they can still play, it appears, but
The guys can still play. That was your takeaway.
Yeah, but it's not as much, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, Phil missed the cut. I think Kepka missed the cut. Sergio missed the cut. So there's a couple of big names who didn't, proceed.
Yeah, I guess there were a couple of good finishes. Let's see. Tyrrell Hatton, Anram, T14. That's pretty good. Joaquin Neiman, who I think was pretty high up on some people's radars, ended up at even.
I think Phil said he was the
T29.
best player in the world, or something to that effect, going into the tournament.
Yeah, well, apparently he wasn't coming out of it. Yeah, so I mean, I guess those are some things. Just looking at this leaderboard, how about Zach Johnson finishing?
Yeah, look at that.
T8? There's another example. Old guy, previous winner, old relative.
Don't have to drive it like Rory to be.
Yeah, don't have to be good. So, how about you? Anything else you took away?
Scheffler still in contention, even though I don't know what, it's probably his like B game. Wasn't that good, but he's just right there, right? Another top 10 finish.
Yeah.
Just looking ahead at the Ryder Cup this year, Team Europe feels strong, right? Rory winning, Rose with the runner-up. Oberg, as you mentioned,
same thing.
Pretty solid despite fading a bit down the stretch, but still really good. One of the standouts as a younger player. I just feel like Team Europe has more maybe standout players, and then the U.S. I mean, you mentioned like Reed, Scheffler, Bryson. They were all good, but they were kind of like good, not great. I think JT won last week, so maybe that's
that's a positive sign.
But some U.S. players need to rack up a little more wins going to the Ryder Cup, get some momentum there. But right now, it seems like Team Europe is pretty strong, even though they're coming into Bethpage, which is gonna be gonna be pretty rough with the New York fans. It's gonna be pretty tough.
Are you gonna try to go at all?
No, not gonna. Even this Masters, I quite enjoyed kind of staying home and watching the broadcast. So for the Ryder Cup, I'm gonna watch on TV.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I will also be watching on TV.
So then, where does this Masters rank on your all-time favorite Masters? I think we discussed our favorite Masters last episode, but where does this one now fit in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be at the top of my list. Like I said, just kind of the excitement even of watching it. It felt like watching, your hometown sports team in the playoffs. It had that feeling for me. And just the emotional roller coaster, I think it was. I mean, it was like watching a movie almost, right? Like a drama, like.
But a happy ending this time.
Happy ending, yes. They find the killer in the end.
Same. I think this might replace the 2019 Tiger win as the top. Just all the drama. Not another Rory disappointment, which is great. Finally, a golf tournament that's more binge-worthy, perhaps, than Netflix's Full Swing series. Some real action here. So this was great. Right near the top, or number one of all-time favorites.
Yeah.
So then.
Nice. I would agree.
So then, next major, PGA. in May
Yeah.
at Quail Hollow.
Yeah.
So, some early thoughts on that? Early favorites?
I don't know what the betting market says. I would guess that Rory is probably gonna maybe be the favorite. It could be Scheffler, but he's won there 4 times, I think.
Yeah. It's,
Um, so I think he likes the course, suits his game well, whatever you want to say. Seems like he could do some damage, and then like we talked about with the emotional burden being lifted of finally winning another major, maybe he's just able to play more free and kind of have a dominant year.
return to his, 2010s, dominant ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree. I think it's hard to bet against Rory, I guess, given recent events, given it's Quail Hollow. If we don't see some kind of, turnaround from Scheffler, he maybe strings a couple wins together. Like, if we don't see that, yeah, it's hard to go against Rory as the favorite. So, yeah, agree.
Yeah. I mean, I think Justin Thomas is an interesting one, too. His game seems to be getting back on board, and he's a 2-time PGA champ, so maybe he's found something in his game, at least to shoot 61 one of the rounds. Something crazy, like he seems to do every week.
Yeah, that is true. And again, right, thinking about the Ryder Cup, Team USA, they need some kind of standout players to make it a make it a contest.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I'll also be kind of interested to see if like Schauffele and the Morikawas of the world continue to get back. I know Schauffele had a rib injury or something, so he obviously won 2 majors last year. So defending champ. We'll see what he does too.
Yeah, really hoping it's not just a flash in the pan for Schauffele, right?
Yeah, I like his game. He's very well-rounded, like not bad at one thing.
Right, but doesn't give you the excitement of Rory.
Yeah, no, certainly not. Good or bad.
Yeah, and Morikawa. It's been a couple years, right, since his last major as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if he can get back on track. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess that brings us to the betting results from this past round. I think, hey, at least we both had winners.
Yeah.
1 out of our 5 won.
All right. So let's review the list again. So Patrick, who'd you have?
Yeah. So I had winner Rory.
Of course.
Plus 650. Of course, the one that won. I had Sepp Straka top 5. He did not make the cut, so that was great. Then I had Shane Lowry top 10, who was in the top 10, I believe, late on Sunday, and then just had a disastrous end to his round. Just like an all-time bad finish. Did you say he shot like 80 or something crazy like that, or 78? It was really bad. So that obviously didn't work out. JJ Spawn top 20. He did make the cut, but was not near the top 20.
He was worse than Lowry, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. 50th. Nice. And then Bobby McIntyre did not make the cut. So a $5 bet on the plus 650 for Rory puts me at 37.50 with my original $5 as well.
Okay.
So technically, I guess I'm 12.50 up.
Okay.
Right? Am I doing that right?
We'll tally it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So then for me, my 5 picks were winner Cam Smith. I don't think he made the cut. So that was not good. Top 20 finish, Patrick Reed. So that hit. I think he finished number 3. A good showing from Reed.
Top 5.
Another live player, right? Still can play.
He seems to do well at the course too, for whatever reason.
Yep. I had a top 10 finish parlay. Colin Morikawa and Sepp. Sepp failing to make the cut, so that destroyed that. I had a top 20 finish for Phil. He missed the cut. And I had an end of round 1 leader, Rory, which was going okay. I mean, Rose was strong in the first round as well, but it was fine until, I don't know, around like hole maybe 14th or something.
Was it 14 or 15 when he hit that double?
Yeah. So that didn't hit either. So yeah, plus
probably should have done after round 3. That would have been the one.
Yeah,
I think.
But that one's harder too. I had hoped that he would, just start out strong.
Yeah.
Round 3, like that's a little harder to kind of predict.
Yeah. Definitely.
But he's done that before, right?
Yeah.
Round 3 leader and then final round
collapse.
But anyway, plus 210 on Patrick Reed, so that's
15.50 with your original 5. So
that
I guess technically I think you're down
950. Okay, so some catching up to do.
Yep.
So I will have to do better.
Is that right? Are you down 950? We're engineers. We're good at math, I guess.
We'll figure it out.
Not really.
We'll figure it out.
All I know is I think I took this round, and we'll see how the PGA goes.
Thanks to Rory.
Yeah,
cemented himself as your de facto favorite player.
Yes. I also happen to have him in a Masters pool.
Oh.
Just a random draw. I ended up with him.
Oh.
And obviously won that one as well.
Are you sure it was a random draw?
So that was nice.
Just pay a little extra there.
The person filmed the randomness of it, so it's on video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was lucky as well.
Very nice. Well, congrats, Patrick, on taking the lead after the first majors. 3 more to go. We'll do some catching up. All right.
Yeah.
Why don't we finish up with some would you rather questions?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. This is going to be maybe a Masters or Rory McIlroy themed list, but Masters or Ryder Cup?
Yeah. So I have actually been to a couple Ryder Cups, one in Chicago area and then one in Minnesota. And while they are really awesome, the part I don't like is that it's really hard to see sometimes, and there aren't as many golfers to watch, obviously, because there's only 12 to a team. And then you're also not having everybody play all the time. especially in the first couple days. So just from that alone, I would say probably the Masters, plus you've got all the history with the Masters, and the course looks incredible, and I think that would be really cool to go to that at some point.
Yeah, agree. For me, also the Masters. Yeah, just I think I'd rather root for. I mean, I end up rooting for players I like anyway, even if it's the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
So I've never been in person to either the Masters or the Ryder Cup. I don't know, maybe an opportunity for the Ryder Cup this year in New York area, but yeah, there's something about Augusta. Somewhere I want to go in person. So for me, Masters over the Ryder Cup. All right. Second question: would you rather be a scratch golfer wielding a Charles Barkley-esque, this is pre-adjustment swing, or be a 10 handicap with a Rory McIlroy swing?
So I think the scoring always wins out for me. So I think scratch is something that would be pretty incredible to achieve. And if you end up looking like Charles Barkley but are still able to be really good at golf, I guess that's just something to talk about at the course, having that kind of swing. So I think I would go with that one, as much as I love Rory's swing.
Okay, and the caveat is that although you get Barkley's swing, you don't get his basketball skills.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't thinking that would be the case, but...
Yeah, there's no bonus
But
here.
thanks for clarifying.
I'm going to go a different direction. So for me, I'd rather be a 10 handicap with a Rory swing. I mean, Rory's swing is something... It's one of my... maybe one of my favorite swings.
Thoughts?
Yeah, one of my favorite swings on tour, I think. It's just the way he can rotate, given he's not like the biggest guy or tallest guy on tour, generate that speed. Just, a majestic swing to watch. So I would take that and hope that with that swing, over time it will, take me down from a 10 handicap.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that swing has nothing to do with putting, so...
That is true. But yeah.
But hey, you could improve on that too.
Something I'm working on. But yeah, I'll rather be a 10 handicap and look good while doing that. All right, third question: Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy? And this can be, you can take it, any angle you want, just personal preference, golfing style, personality, whatever you want.
So maybe I'll go like enjoyability watching play golf. Like I feel like especially when Scheffler is winning, he's just like so stoic, and it's kind of like feels a little boring almost to me, unless he's getting arrested. He just like, and like that's totally fine, that's just his personality and that's who he wants to be on the golf course, but he's just like no emotion really, just doing his thing, and obviously he's killing it, but it's just not as enjoyable of a watch, I feel like, for me, versus Rory, who's a little more emotional, and you get the bobbing going and the up and down shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just more enjoyable to watch?
For me, I'm gonna take this on an angle on maybe just a golfing style. I think I would take Scheffler just because he's so consistent.
Yeah.
Like his poor rounds aren't really that bad, and then his
Yep.
good rounds are better than most. Compared to Rory,
Yep.
like Rory's best rounds is like you can't catch, like no one can catch him, but his worst rounds
Yep.
are like, they're pretty subpar at times.
Bad. Yeah.
If I played like him, not that I'm pretty inconsistent as an amateur golfer, but if I had that wide variance, macro is like a very volatile stock, basically.
Yes.
I might quit the game. I might not be able to handle it. Which again makes his ability to overcome this and finally win the Masters. That made it so great because he actually overcame. He withstood the ups and downs. But I would rather take that consistent game. I think it'll be better for my mental health, personally.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I think if I had to pick one, I'd probably choose him to play like.
All right, that's it for this episode.
Thanks for listening to Two Dads, One Green. Be good, play better, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See ya.